Good morning. Gonna try this again. Came back home last night. Just got snowed out in UP. It was horrible. Freaking blizzard. Went from 0 to knee deep in hours. So it's snowing just a little bit right now. It's windy. It's 23 degrees. It's Thanksgiving Day. We're celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow because the wife works today. So I'm gonna go just head northern Wisconsin. Get somewhere where there's not 2 feet of snow and see what I can get into. I'm running solo today. Dante was been kind of sick. I don't know if he's got the cold or whatever, or cold and flu, but he wasn't sleeping the greatest. He's tired, so sleep in, get rid of that sickness crap, because we got still a lot of hunting to do yet. Muzzleloader, and then he's so obsessed with bow hunting, so we'll be doing a lot of late season bow hunting too, and maybe one trip to Arkansas yet. We'll see. But we'll see you in the woods. I have never been in this part, or in this block of woods. Actually, not even close to it. Hunting or fishing or anything. It's a huge block of state land, northern Wisconsin, and I'm definitely the only one that's traveling around looking for tracks, because otherwise there'd be you would think there'd be a pickup truck track in here. But see what we can find. Maybe there's nobody in here because there's no deer in here. That would be my luck. Pick a spot where it's a dead zone. Of course, there's a lot of them in northern Wisconsin and the UP because of the wolves. But we'll see what we got there. Well, I don't know. It sure looks, I mean, it's fairly fresh. Probably within an hour because it's been snowing. Just slowed up. But that is not a big deer. It's a 2.5-year-old buck. Let's keep going. Not wasting time following that. All right, I drove in here a couple miles, and this is a no baiting area, which is great for tracking. And there's only this one access road, and any other road that goes off of it is no motorized traffic, so you can get way off the beaten path here. And I'm sure, because there's oak and pine and cutovers and stuff in here, that there's deer in here. I mean, I saw a bunch of deer tracks early this morning during the night. That one, 2.5-year-old buck that was probably within the last hour. But as far as today, with all this stuff hanging on the brush in the woods, is 99% that. After being so soaked yesterday walking through all that crap, I don't want to do it today. Not at 7:30 in the morning anyway. So I'm gonna bounce up to another area that's 15-20 minutes away. That's, I think, a little bit more mature wood, but there's a lot of oak in it, and it was a good acorn year, so maybe I'll get lucky and I can scoot around up there, because I don't want to crawl through brush. And not to mention, it's supposed to be pretty breezy, and right now it's not, so they'd hear you coming a mile away, punching your way through that brush, and all those oak leaves stuck on there. They're loud and covered with snow and ice and stuff. So all right, head to the next spot. All right, I'm to the new spot. You can see by the woods, this is much more favorable to walk in. And there's a bunch of fresh tracks. Nothing huge, but I'm just gonna follow it And if if it doesn't run me into something big, I'll just make a couple mile loop in here. And then if there's nothing that interests me, I will head back to the next spot. Guess I'm a buck chasing a doe here. Looks like possibly a decent track. It's not no giant by no means, but I guess I just keep following this. See where it takes me. Spike buck. There's another one over there. I got his glass that one. Two spike bucks. I'm not ready to fill my tank with one of those yet. That buck that was chasing that doe earlier by those tracks, that was not those two spikers. Because I went another 300 yards or so past where I saw those spikes. And way in that ridge right there, I saw a deer run over there. Well, actually, two of them. And then they ran back that way. So there's definitely one chasing. I wanted to go that way. But I think I'm going to pop over this hill to see if I can't catch him. See what it is. I know that buck chased that doe over this way. I just saw 4 does. That buck's got to be here somewhere. See if I can wait it out a little bit here. See what happens. I think the jig is up. Yep. I've been standing here for 15 minutes, so I figured sooner or later they're going to catch a whiff of me. Or they're going to see me moving around. There's a pile of slickheads in here. I got a tag for one, but there's no way I'm dragging that thing all the way out of here. Not happening. Stop at this cool hemlock grove. Get a drink of water. Had to tighten up my my strap on this thing, so I must be losing weight. No, I'm not. All right, so far, 2 spikers. That one buck chasing a doe that I didn't really get a good look at. I mean, I got a look at the deer, but they were just too far away running through the woods. I didn't chase him around. I didn't get to see what he was. Then I walked up on those 3 or 4 does over here. Been a great day so far. If I don't see nothing the rest of the day, it's already a huge success. Way up here in northern Wisconsin, where normally the wolves outnumber the deer. All right, I'm gonna finish my drink and then keep moving. All right, a little after 11. I've been in here for, what, 3.5 hours. Still saw just the 8 deer yet. I'm gonna snack down on a sandwich before I head out. There's some ridges over here behind this lake. They're really secluded. I want to see if they're oak ridges. If they are, might be some deer back in there. But before we get out and out of protective cover of these nice hemlocks and start getting blasted by the wind, I'm gonna eat one of my sandwiches. So, we'll see you on the hill. I've hunted with a number of guys over the years that with a big hemlock patch like this, they would say, man, I'm gonna go hunting there. It's so nice, these little rolling hills in there. You can see so good, it's nice and dark and protected and whatever. And I always tell them, like, no, you don't want to hunt in there. Go to the edge of that. And today is a prime example. I'm cutting through this big hemlock patch to get to these ridges behind the lake, as I said already. And there is 0 deer tracks in here. None. Along the edge of it, where it meets the transition zone, meets the hardwoods, there's browse and stuff along there. That's where the tracks are at. Inside, way deep in here, there ain't nothing. There's nothing for them. There's zero browse for them to eat. There's no reason for them to be in here. All right, almost done with my sandwich. I'm gonna hit the road. Keep trucking. A little tip for you. I'm facing straight north right now. Wind's coming out of the northwest. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing in here, traveling the way I'm traveling. And knowing that it was a storm that came from the northwest yesterday, and it rained first, you know that there's going to be a pile of snow stuck to the trees, right? So look how easy it is to look through there and pick up any deer movement. Now, say the wind was out of the south after the storm went through and the north end of it's all blasted with snow, all the trees. Look at the difference. Lot harder to see. So keep that in mind. If you got a spot that you really want to hunt, you want to wait till everything conditions are perfect and you get a good snow and you want to still hunt through, wait till the wind is opposite are the same as the snow. The snowstorm that happened that blasted all the snow on the trees. Don't try to come here in a south wind because you'd be going that way. It's just, you'd miss so much. For, I don't know, everybody probably knows that already anyway, but it's just a little tidbit of information to make your still hunting life easier and more productive on the trail. Well, you can see by the bed, size of the bed track, that's a pretty good deer. He had shifted beds twice, and all I was doing, I started out, I seen all those deer, and I tried getting on a couple tracks, but there was so many tracks of, you know, so many deer up there that was just, it's kind of hard, and I never did find a really big one. So I just kept pushing back further and further and further. And I was getting less and less tracks, and finally there was nothing for a long ways. And then I stumbled across this old one I saw off at a distance. You know, old from this morning, as it's been snowing on and off. So I walked over to it. Unbeknownst to me, the deer was there and he already busted out. So I went and I got on him. He ran half mile without even stopping. Then he slowed up. And now he's running again, which I'm sure I busted him again, but I'm so sweated up from just covering ground. I didn't feel like just sitting there and taking a half-hour break waiting for him. But so I'm just going to follow him. If I keep jumping him, I keep jumping him. Just to see where he goes. Because he's taking me in through the complete tour of where he runs, because I found a couple of rubs back there. I mean, this is his turf. So he's going to show me the whole thing today, and if I don't get on him, and he lives to make it another year, he'll just be that much bigger. Because it seems like the size of the tracks, maybe 3.5-year-old. So not a giant, but a really good deer. So I have not found another zero human sign in here either, so there's zero pressure. I've been walking, I think it's 2.5 miles now. Pretty much lining straight out for the most part. Heading north from the south. And zero human sign. So, that's good. If I don't kill him, he'll probably be here next year. Another year older. Come back and try to kill him then. Maybe with the bow. All right, I'm gonna keep on this thing. It's only noon, so I got plenty of time. See what I mean by follow those deer? Because they take you by everything. Here's a bunch of oak secluded way back in here. Feed source, and looky there. And he ran right past us. That's a pretty good rub. Of course, he went down into that hellhole. Well, keep after him. That track's not that old either. It's got to be another one working the sedge. I'm not giving this old boy credit enough. He came up this hill, that rub was right over there. Look what he did here. He came this far. He turned around and backtracked. And I better go down there somewhere. He jumped off and went the other direction. Because that's old tracks. That's probably his from during the night. Or, I mean, obviously it could be a different buck too, but yeah. This was not in a little dink, that's for sure. So I'll figure out where he jumped off. Yep, he swapped directions. Now he's going this way. Smart son of a bitch. I love it. Now I guarantee you he's not far either. Because he's going to see if that move he just pulled on me is going to work or not. It reminds me of a buck we were tracking. I was tracking it. And the guys would circle around his blocks and stuff, and I'd track it, and hopefully either I'd get it or it'd bust out in front of one of those guys. And it was a huge buck. Actually, I made a video on it. It was a old U.S. Cavalry Vietnam vet. I ended up chasing that buck to him. First buck he had shot. The first buck I think he'd seen in 7 years or something like that. It was a 9-pointer, 21-inch spread, big deer. This one's doing the exact same thing. So I'm gonna give him a minute here, because I know he's sitting up there somewhere, just standing there watching his backtrack to see if I'm coming. So I think I'm gonna eat a snack, because I always can eat, and then get back on him. It's still only between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, so I got all sorts of time. And I'm only, I don't know, 2.5 miles from the truck, so it's not bad. All right, I'm gonna slap the feed bag on and then get after it again. So, you can see my tracks. I was following him up here. He got right there. Earlier when I showed you that, he turned around, ran back down his back track around this hole. There's a little ridge over there. There was a couple more deer over there eating on acorns. He ran into them. They kind of scattered. I looked around and I couldn't find his track, so I did a little circle and I found it. He came back again. And he came right along here. So he backtracked twice. And that's his track right there. Man, these things are fun to follow. Just amazing animals. All right, I let him win. Well, I didn't let him win. He had a lot to do with it. I mean, if I'd have saw that deer track before I just walked right up on him and busted him out of his bed, it would have been way better off, because I backtracked it a ways and you could see where he was feeding and stuff. So, I mean, that's a telltale sign he's going to bed up. And which he was. So he ran a half a mile after I jumped him. Without even slowing down. And I knew it. If I had just sat there, killed 20 minutes or so, half hour. The spot where I kicked him up again, I could have probably easily got a shot at him in there. If I'd have been behind him, he'd have been dicking around in there or bedded up again. And taking my time, I probably could have got a shot at him. But, I mean, I do think it was a pretty good deer, but I don't think it was a real giant, where if I had to choose, I probably wouldn't have went on it. But that was all that was there, and it was kind of going the way I wanted to go, so I went with it. Here I see one jumped across this old logging road. I must have booted it. Oh, I know what it was. The second backtrack of that buck. When there was a couple other deer in those oaks in the balsams feeding, that's where they went across this old road. All right, well, I am a little shy from 3 miles from the truck. It is snowing like crazy. It is about 1:30. And I'm gonna get hoofing her back. I'm gonna go up by this other lake and shoot along the ridge all the way back. And maybe that last half mile, there was a bunch of deer in there. This morning when I walked through it, maybe there'll be a bunch more, but whew, the snow. This is crazy. I hope it doesn't dump too much here now. The UP where we hunt's kind of screwed. I think it's too deep to even worry about trying to get in there. But, I don't know, we'll see. All right, well, we'll see you by the truck, or unless I run into something. I'm out. It's just under 6 mile trip, or loop, I should say. Just those 8 deer. The 2 spikes I walked up on. Then the 4 doe. Yes, and then that one other buck chasing that doe way up on that other ridge, up the ridge, and then they came whipping back down, but I never did get a really good look at him to see how big he was. But anyway, well, and then the one I was chasing, but I never saw that one. I'm gonna head for home, dry my stuff out, and then probably jump in the woods tomorrow morning real early again. Get a half a day or so in anyway before we have Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Good luck on the rest of your season. Hope you kill a big one. Shoot straight, stay safe, and see you in the next one.